Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good day. I hope your week was great. Thank you for joining us again on our live webinar, IG Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Space, wherever you may be joining us from. Thank you for joining us on this episode of our Investor Readiness series. So we're live on all our channels right now: Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter as well. So on this live, I will be talking about what you need to do to get ready for investor. So investor readiness. And this particular episode will be focusing on investor readiness in terms of demonstrating your unique value proposition. So just a bit of introduction before we get started. My name is Tolani Thomas Allison. I'm a director at Halisi Consults, and this session is essentially to educate you as a business owner on what you need to do to get ready for investors. So, our investor readiness service is one thing that is usually demanded by companies, whether small businesses, startup services, startup companies rather, or medium-sized enterprises. So it's a service that's constantly demanded, and we felt like it was necessary to educate people on what it takes to be investor ready, which is why we're doing this series. So today we'll be talking about demonstrating your unique value proposition to investors in order to attract investors for your business. So I'll start off by saying this. Sometimes startups forget that they need to take, a holistic view, or holistic approach into evaluating, the type of business that they're starting or that they're operating. For many founders, for many business owners, it might be a straight path that, okay, this is the idea that I have and this is what it takes to achieve it. But you find that in reality, in the real world or in your industry, in the real markets, when your business does launch, you find that you need to make yourself different from everybody else. So that's what we're going to be talking about today: your unique value proposition. Not just unique value proposition in terms of what makes your business different for customers, but what makes your business so unique that it will attract investors. I mean, investors consider things like, your profit margins, which I believe we've talked about before. How unique your idea is, the innovation, the strength of the team, how experienced the founder is, things like that are things that investors will normally consider. But we're looking at investor readiness today from the angle of your unique value proposition. So, what is unique value proposition? Unique value proposition is um, a factor or a series of factors, a bunch of factors that make your business more unique than every other business operating in your industry. So whatever business you operate, it's very rare today that you see a business that operates as a monopoly. For every business that is out there, another business that is doing something exactly the same as what they are doing in their business. So what's going to set your business apart, or what's going to make your business the favorable business, is your unique identifying factor. So your unique value proposition is what makes you different from every other business out there. So it's a bunch of factors. It could be a number of things: the strength of your team, how much money you're making, etc., that makes you different from every other business out there that is doing the same thing that you're doing, that is selling the same products, offering the same services, and servicing the same clients that you are. So what makes you so different from all these people? So what makes you different from all these businesses is something that the investors will be looking for, because what happens is, investors might be speaking to a number of companies in your industry that do what you do, that sell what you sell, that target the same customers, but they're looking for something very unique, or they're looking for the company that stands out above the rest. So how do you stand out above the rest is one important question that you need to ask yourself as a stand-up founder. Number one thing is, what problem are you solving? When you ask yourself what kind of problem you are solving or who you're solving your problems for, it will give you some clarity on into how you can make yourself different from the rest, how you can be unique in a world of several businesses that are doing the same thing as you are. So you need to ensure that the problem that you're solving is something that you know customers actually want a solution to. The problem that your business is solving has to be something that customers are willing to pay for the solution. um Also, would they embrace your business innovation, in terms of would customers embrace your business way of doing things, the way you are setting about solving the problems that they have, and are they willing to pay for the solutions to that problem? For example, I'll give an example of a startup called Split. Split is a startup that provides rental solutions for people that are looking to rent in Lagos. Everyone knows how difficult it is to get, rent to rent a place in a big city. Now, what Split did that made them different from the rest is that they created solutions for people that are looking to rent, in terms of providing monthly payment for rent for them, providing um different types of services, facility management, and so on, identifying services and so on that both landlords and renters will need. So creating a platform for these people to exist. Split went into the market to solve the problem that renters have, and also help landlords to make sure that their apartments or their houses are filled up. And initially when they started the business, they were testing the market, and when they realized that there was a demand for the products, they launched the product, and they've been able to raise a lot of money, which I help them expand the business till date. So what I'm saying is, you might have a very unique idea, or your business might be something that is already running, that you believe that is really unique. And if you can itemize what makes you different from the rest, or what sets you apart from the rest, and not only break down what makes you different from everybody else in your industry, but demonstrate to investors that they are willing customers, that customers are willing to pay for your services because your business idea is so different and so innovative. So you have to, look for ways to set yourself apart from everybody else in your industry. Another thing that investors typically look for a unique value proposition is a team of founders, or a founding team that is competent and capable of executing that idea successfully. So they typically would look for people that have been in that industry before they started the business, and have set up a solid team that can help the business generate money month on month, every year, and continuously grow at a very rapid stage, and increase revenue month to month, year to year. So the strength of your team is very important in showing that your business is unique in the marketplace. Another thing is that having a solid team allows investors to make calculated decisions, or educated guesses in terms of how successful your business can be in the next 5 to 10 years, before they make their decision whether or not to invest or finance your company. Next, businesses need to often pivot or rearrange their priorities at the start of the business, at the early stage of the business. Another factor that you can use to demonstrate that your business is uniquely positioned for investment or financing is by showing that you are a calculated leader, and you understand the marketplace, you understand business. And if you're seeing that this certain product is not moving, how can you make the best of the situation? That is what pivoting is. During the pandemic, we saw a lot of this. A lot of businesses were pivoting from maybe it was the fashion business, they pivoted into making face masks, things like that. So investors and financiers want to see that you're a business owner that has grit, that is sensible, and that understands how business works, for you to be able to pivot the business, or rearrange your organization in a way that your business consistently stays profitable. So that's one thing that can make you unique above all your competitors. So a couple of questions that investors typically will ask themselves when they are deciding whether or not to finance your business or to fund your business is that, is this a real problem that customers are looking for a solution to? Is this a problem that does not pose any risk to their investment? Is this a problem that can be monetized? That's a very, very big factor. Being able to monetize the solution that you are providing to customers is very important for investors. So you have to have demonstrated all these things. You also have to have shown that your team is capable of leading a company to you know be a resounding success. You also need to understand your competitors, and what your competitors have that you don't have, and how you can mitigate, or how you can compete in the industry, despite the fact that your competitors have certain unique skills that you don't have as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what essentially is a unique identifying factor that a competitor might have that you don't have. Some competitors might have more skin in the game than you. They might have more experience in your industry. They might have been in the industry longer or worked at a larger organization than you have before starting the business, and that might pose a threat in terms of if you and that company are speaking this to the same financier, to the same fund, or to the same investor. They might want to The investor might want to go for the company that has more experience. So how do you mitigate that um negative answer from coming to you? You have to show other factors. You have to make sure that all your I's are dotted and all your T's are crossed in terms of showing that your business is uniquely positioned for financing. You have to show that you have more customers, or you have paying customers that are already paying for the services and products that you're selling, and that your team is well equipped to lead your company to success, and that despite the fact that your competitor has more experience than you are more business savvy or more technological, or you have more technology knowledge, or more technology involved in your product that can help you reach customers easier and better and faster. So if you can combine all these resources together, you would be able to demonstrate to investors that you have the a unique value proposition for them to invest in your company, or for them to give you financing for your business. That being said, typically when you're doing equity financing, venture capitalists typically will be looking for really high returns on their investments in a relatively short period of time. While if you're doing debt financing, financiers will typically be looking for a company that has really good profit margins, that they would be able to recoup their investment over a certain period of time. So these are the typical unique identifying factors that investors and financiers are always looking at to understand whether or not they should decide to invest in your company or finance your company. So understanding what makes you unique, understanding the unique identifying factors of your business that you can position, like I used to position yourself for financing, is very important in terms of where you're speaking to investors or not, because these are the things that you would lead with, or you would demonstrate in your pitch deck when you are speaking to investors in investors meetings, where you're pitching directly. These are the things that you would touch on for investors to have the confidence to believe that you're the right founder to lead this business, and you're the right company that they should finance. So these are typically the ways that you can demonstrate your unique value proposition as a company looking for financing or funding. So another thing you can do to show that you're a unique company, or that you are different from every other company in your industry, is that your customers will be your ambassador. So if you have a lot of customers, if you have a sizable number of customers, it's usually a good indicator to investors that your business is a good business to invest in. And if your customers constantly have good things to say about you, I mean, you can't please every customer, but your customers should, to an extent, or to a sizable percentage of your customers, should have good things, good reviews to say about you, and essentially be ambassadors of your company. This can even help you get into conversation with investors, because sometimes customers, saying good things about your company online would help, pick the interest of investors that will be like, okay, this company can be a viable investment because they have a customer base that is loyal to them, and if they get financing or capital to grow their company, they have ready customers that are willing to buy, that believe in them, that trust them, and that will also do the job of the company by helping them market without even being asked to. So sometimes your customers, the customer relationships that you have, and your customers being ambassadors of your company, is a very good, unique value proposition that investors might be looking out for. So your customers can be a source of you um, piquing the interest of investors. Next is how your customers discover you. So typically your marketing channels needs to be in tip top shape. You need to dot all your I's and cross all your T's. I know I say that a lot, but it's very, very important that you know every part of your business is running at optimal speed, or running at at the optimal best. So the how your customers discover you can also be a unique identifying factor, in the sense that, okay, have you developed your marketing to the extent that your marketing pretty much runs itself? Have you developed marketing loops in the way your customers find you? If your customers discover you from social media, for instance, is there a way where have you created a way to retain them and keep them referring other new customers to you? These are things that investors will typically be looking out for, or examples of things that investors will be looking out for, that demonstrates that your business is unique and that your business has a unique value proposition that makes it ripe for investment or financing. So please, if you have any questions, I'm going to check the YouTube now. So Clinton on YouTube says, can't wait for this. Well, the webinar is here. So if you have any questions, please drop them in our comment section and we would answer them. I know that I missed some questions last week because I wasn't paying attention to our YouTube. But anyway, yes. So those are the few things, or those are the few ways that you can use to show your unique value proposition as a startup, as a small business, as a growing enterprise. So another thing is social impact. That's something that a lot of companies ignore, especially Nigerian companies, because we don't really practice CSR as much as the West does. Thank you so much for your comments. Bless you. A lot of YouTube comments today. Thank you guys. So what was I saying? The social impact is one unique value proposition that you can use to position yourself as a company that is viable for funding. So in business world today, there's something called ESG. ESG is something that we discovered when we were doing investor readiness services for a client, where an investor actually asked for their ESG report. ESG means environmental, social, and governance factors. So when financiers are looking to invest in you, or funders are looking to invest in you, typically international funders, they will ask for things like your ESG report. So your ESG report has to show how environmentally conscious your company is, how socially conscious your company is, and how your company is ethical in terms of corporate governance, to show that your company acts responsibly, your company does all the things it needs to do, and you're not engaging in any form of corruption within the organization. You're helping contribute to climate change. Factors like this can set you apart from your competitors, in terms of showing that, okay, because your company has, your company's ESG compliance as environmental, social, and governance factors, your company's ESG compliant, you can show investors that you're uniquely positioned as a company of the future, meaning that you're thinking of the future. That's why you are ESG compliant. So that's another factor to consider, that this is typically very important for international funders, not so much for Nigerian financiers, because Nigerian financiers only want to see your profit margins, let's be honest. So for international funders, they would ask for your ESG report most of the time, especially when it's a Western company, like from the EU or from the UK or from the US. They will typically want to see your ESG report as one of the things that they want to see, or that they will require of you if you're seeking financing, or if you're seeking funding. Another thing that can make you stand out as an organization when you're pitching for financing or for funding, is your emotional impact. So are you or life changing impact? So are you transforming the lives of your customers? Are you transforming the life of the people that encounter your organization? That's one thing that you can use to show how unique your organization is. Like, if you can get a couple of your clients, 5, 10 clients that can make videos for you, or you can shoot videos of them saying how unique your company is in terms of how you change their lives or how you transform their lives. This is another factor that you can use to present to investors, that your company is so unique that customers are literally of their own free will making videos to tell people, to tell the world how transformational your service or your product is. So, how life changing is your product? How life changing is your service? Like, how did it impact people's lives? If you can demonstrate this is a very good way to demonstrate your unique value proposition to attract investors to your organization. So, it's 5:25. So I have just 5 minutes more to discuss this. I have shared a lot of things that you can use to separate yourself from your competitors, or to show how differentiated you are from your competitors in your industry, by demonstrating how many customers you have, how much social impact your organization has in terms of your ESG, your environmental, social, and governance factors, how life changing or emotionally impactful in a positive way um is your organization to customers, and then also how what the skill set of your founding team is, how experienced is the founder and the people in your leadership team, how experienced are they to lead your organization. These are factors that you can present in a pitch deck to investors that would be interested in investing in your company. So these are the different ways you can demonstrate your unique value proposition and why investors should invest in your company rather than your competitor's company, or also ways that you can show that your company is viable for financing with financial institutions as well. So I hope I've been able to cover as much as possible on this topic for you guys. If you have any comments or questions, enjoying this, Blessing says enjoying this on YouTube. Thank you, Blessing. um we're happy to answer. um that being said, so already know what we do at Halisi Consult. Halisi Consult is a business development consulting company. We help businesses launch, grow, and thrive. We help startups, small businesses, medium-sized enterprises with their business plans, with their marketing, and with their investor readiness as well. So if you'd like to talk to us about any of these services that we offer, you can click the link in our bio to book a free clarity consultation where we take you through what we believe will be the right strategy for you to grow your business, or for you to secure financing. So yeah, that's it. If there are no questions for me, I'm gonna. Okay, someone has a question here. What do people typically look for in investors? What does that mean? So, okay, I believe this person's question is, what do people typically, or what do investors typically look for? So it really depends on your industry. It really depends on how much you're seeking as well. So for every level of financing, there are certain requirements that investors expect of you. The first video in this series actually addressed that. If you're looking for 500,000 naira to 5 million naira, there's some certain requirements that investors expect. Things like your business must be CAC registered. You must have at least 1 year of business operations and sales, and you must demonstrate that with your bank statement. What else? Yes, that's pretty much it for 500 to 5 million naira. They might ask for some collateral at that stage, but not always. You might find organizations that would give you financing without collateral to an extent, probably to up to like 2 million naira. So if you're looking for 5 million to, let's say, 100 million naira, it's a bit more stringent. They're going to need to see how frequently you get customers, if you have any long-term customer agreements, if you have any off-takers, as they would like to say. Those are typically type of documents they'll be looking for. So it really depends on how much you're looking for investors into your business. It depends on how much financing you need. So that would be what investors would require of you. So things like your pitch deck will help to demonstrate how ready your company is for financing, and your business plan as well. So I hope I've answered that question. If there's no other question, I think that brings us to the end of this week's session. um Join us again next week for another topic. We will be sharing more insights on being investor ready as an organization. Thank you guys for your time, and see you next week. If you want to talk to us, you can always send us a DM or send us an email at hello@halisiconsults.com, or click the link in our bio to book a free clarity consultation to talk to us about your investor readiness and getting financing for your business. So that'll be all today. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good weekend. Bye.